Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of a very special edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk. As tonight we will be previewing WWE's Backlash, the SmackDown exclusive pay-per-view. I am indeed good old MF Michael Fletcher. Yes, you are not misjudging here. I am here on a Saturday night, previewing with the crew, with Anthony the Hitman Florio and the Twisted Angel Didi Woodson. Michael Bullock might be on the show. I did give him a heads up. Most likely won't be, but if he does, then we'll catch him up. If we don't, then he'll be on tomorrow night for the recap. All right, guys. So it is a seven card. It is a 7-card fight minus the pre-show fight. Which, just to give you a heads up, we're not going to cover it, but just for all you fans out there, before the main card starts, there is a pre-show fight. It is Aiden English going one-on-one with the Perfect 10 Ty Dillinger. So for all you fans out there in Rosemont at the Allstate Arena, you get treated for that fight. And of course, if you have the WWE Network, you guys get that one on the house. Okay, now for the main show, we start off with a one-on-one match. Luke Harper versus Erick Rowan. Basically, this is a rivalry that's been going on for a little while now. Rowan and Harper have been going one-on-one. Back and forth between these two men. And I think this time around, I'm going to give it to Luke Harper. I think Harper is going to win this match. I know this won't be the best match of the evening, but let me tell you, I understand why they did it. It was storyline progression. And plus, this really came right out after the Superstar, when they did the Superstar takeover. They changed things up. Rowan came back from injury, jumped Luke Harper, and basically that started a whole Pandora's box. So now I think Harper gets the victory here. So with that said, Anthony Florio, I'll give it to you.
Well, I'll tell you, MF. I got to be honest. As the man who tells it like it is, I don't think this is going to be anything special here. It's certainly not going to be like what we saw at NXT Takeover tonight. This is not going to be a Tyler Bate, Pete Dunne 5-star classic. Oh no, sir, it will not be. Trust me on that. But this, in my mind, if I'm going to be real honest, this is probably going to be the worst fight of the night for me. But it's tough to pick here. I mean, this all came about on the last edition of Talking Smack when Erick Rowan creeped the hell out of everybody, and that's all I can say on that. And since returning after WrestleMania, Erick Rowan's made it clear he is still very much a Bray Wyatt guy. Whether it was Luke Harper or Randy Orton, Rowan has made it his mission to take out those who betrayed the family, even with the Eater of Worlds now on Monday Night Raw. And at first, that didn't work out terribly well for Rowan. He and Bray Wyatt were defeated by Orton and Harper in a tag match. Then neither Luke or Erick emerged from SmackDown's six-pack challenge, which Jinder Mahal won, as we all know. And we'll get into that in a little bit. But recently, Rowan actually beat Harper on SmackDown Live back on the May 9th edition. And it's not the first time Wyatt's family has set it on their own and come into conflict with one another. But there's definitely a different edge to Rowan this time. And we're not just talking about those creepy clown tricks. Erick says he wants to punish Luke for leaving him, as so many others have in his life. And, well, what's at stake? In story, family pride, I suppose. Harper has been trying to succeed on his own for the first time since his brief run as Intercontinental Heavyweight Champion in 2014, while coming to terms with the fact Wyatt chose Randy Orton over him during their long feud. Rowan's taken that rejection personally and wants to make Bray's original son pay. Business-wise, it's the usual. Either this is the first pay-per-view bout of a longer feud, or the winner will be in line for something more. If that's the currently babyface Harper, it could be maybe a possible U.S. heavyweight title match down the line. But if it's the guy they want to try to get us to call Big Red, maybe he can work with Mojo Rawley or another guy on the rise. But I'm just gonna take a chance here. I'm gonna go with Luke Harper to win this match. I think Harper is gonna get the win back from SmackDown Live, and where they go from here, I don't know. So I'm gonna go with Luke Harper to win it. There's no question about it in my mind. It's gonna be the worst fight of the night. I have no hopes for this whatsoever. So with that being said, Dee Whitson, First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, come on in. Let's get your thoughts on Erick Rowan and Luke Harper.
Well, I'm going to keep it short and sweet, but I'm actually going to go exactly opposite of both of you, and I'm going to give it to Erick. So that's about all I'm going to say for it. So let's move on.
All right, the next fight of the night that we had was something that was stemming from the Superstar shakeup. Baron Corbin goes one-on-one with the underdog from the underground, Sami Zayn. I'm going to give it to Anthony Florio. So, Hitman, what do you say about this matchup?
Well, I'll tell you, MF. Let's see. Well, this is a little bit of a tough one for me. Another one I've been going back and forth with. But based on some of the odds I've been reading, the odds makers are going. A lot of the odds makers are going with Sami Zayn to win this bout, and well, this has all the makings to be a stay busy feud with Corbin until bigger opportunities open up. He has mostly looked the part of a top heel since being given a stronger push over the past year. Zayn, meanwhile, continues to lose and lose badly each time he's on TV. So what does that mean for Sunday? Possibly an upset win. So with that being said, I'm going with Sami Zayn to actually win this match. So that's all I can say on that. So with that said, Dee Whitson, Baron Corbin against Sami Zayn. Who you got?
I'm going to stick with Corbin. That's about all I'm going to say about it because I'm really tired, guys.
All right. Fair enough. You know what? I'm going to go the same. I'm going to say I think it's going to be Sami Zayn. I think he'll win the match. I just don't know if this is going to be as good of a match as people are going to say, but, we'll just have to wait and see. Okay. Coming up next, this could be the fight of the night. It is Dolph Ziggler going one-on-one with the man that's going to finally make his in-ring debut. You don't even need to know the name. You've heard it all over the world. He is, without a doubt, one of the biggest names in wrestling. Former two-time NXT champion, SmackDown's probably number one star, other than another man we're going to talk about later on this evening that's fighting for the United States title. It is Shinsuke Nakamura, formerly known as Shinsuke Nakamura, the king of the strong style. We've had these teases for weeks between these two. We're finally going to get the payoff in Chicago tomorrow night. Dee Whitson, I know you're a little tired. Just give me a winner. Who do you think is going to win the match?
Nakamura.
Simple enough. I agree. Shinsuke Nakamura. I mean, if you have never seen Nakamura in the ring, get ready, folks. You are going to be in for a treat. And Dolph Ziggler is no slouch either. This is why I think this could be the fight of the night. There's one other fight that actually could top it. And we'll get into that in just a little bit. There is another fight that I'm really invested in. And yes, it is for one of the major titles. So we'll get into that in a little bit. But give me Shinsuke Nakamura for the win. Anthony, it's all yours.
Yeah, I'm going to make you unanimous. It's going to be Nakamura. I mean, after all that build, would you really have him lose in his first match? I mean, the decision to delay Nakamura's in-ring debut on the main roster has succeeded in building anticipation. And it has also put pressure on WWE to deliver in presenting his character as serious and dangerous as Nakamura looked in NXT. Ziggler is the perfect foil to sell Nakamura's stiff MMA-inspired strikes. And, I mean, Dolph Ziggler, even though Dolph Ziggler is still in that "what have you done for us lately" thing, which has been really nothing since that awesome feud he had with The Miz. The guy has absolutely carried the build for Nakamura's debut over the last 4 weeks. And hopefully the great work that he has done has proven to WWE that he deserves to be in a singles title race, because he's most certainly not getting a win over Nakamura in the King of Strong Style's main roster in-ring debut. Where Nakamura goes from here, though, is anyone's guess. Maybe this rivalry continues for another month, perhaps due to a post-match beatdown by Ziggler. I don't know. We'll see. But there's no doubt about it here. This is far and away the easiest fight on the card to call. No doubt about it. Or one of the easiest. Winner, King of the Strong Style, it's Shinsuke Nakamura. I would be the most surprised guy in the world if they actually have the cojones to put Ziggler over here. So, IWC capital of the world, Chicago, Illinois. Get ready. And MF, all I can say is, are you picturing it right now?
Oh yeah. Any bigger than this? It won't get bigger than this. This could be the level of a CM Punk homecoming, an entrance of Nakamura's stature, and you remember what they did when they debuted him on the main roster, the violin and everything else, and the place just exploded. It had the entire IWC. Every YouTuber was losing their mind. I'm gonna even admit it. I started crying because of the majesty of Nakamura. He's that powerful, and it's just the entrance and everything else was amazing. I can't wait to see what they pull for Chicago tomorrow night. So, an amazing match. Okay, now we're going to get into what is practically the final match before we get into the championships. The 6-woman tag team match. It is the Welcoming Committee, or like Anthony and Michael Blake has been calling them, the Sweet Valley High Mean Girls, which is Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina with James Ellsworth, and they go up against Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair, and the SmackDown Women's Champion, Naomi. Okay. I know the story has been, Welcoming Committee has been all over, that they need the respect, they need the love, they're not getting any satisfaction or whatever, because the three that's been shining the brightest has been Naomi, Becky Lynch, but more importantly, they have drawn the ire of Charlotte Flair, the queen herself. Now, clear, she wants to become SmackDown Women's Champion. So there's been a little bit of friction between her and Naomi. There's been a couple of fights, both been destroyed because of the Welcoming Committee. And now Becky Lynch has been caught in this quote unquote tug of war. Who can you trust? Now, the Welcoming Committee has been very, very trying to get Becky into the dark side, and Becky, with her desires and her intentions to possibly become once again the women's champion as well, has been caught in the middle in this little firefight, as we like to call it. Well, for me, unfortunately, I think the Welcoming Committee is going to get the job done. I see them winning this fight. Now, I don't think it's going to be a clean victory. It's not going to be a 1-2-3. I think it's going to be an overbooked chicanery type finish, but I can definitely see Natalya, Carmella, and Tamina Snuka getting the job done and winning this match. So I got the Welcoming Committee defeating Naomi, Charlotte, and Becky. Anthony, what says you?
Oh, Neff, as much as I would love to go against your grain here, I unfortunately have to agree with this. Initially, I'll be real honest. Initially, I was leaning towards Naomi, Charlotte Flair, and Becky Lynch coming out on top in this one, since there's nothing on the line here. But you know, the obvious move here is to have Charlotte turn on her teammates and leave the match, showing her time as a face was only a ruse. The problem, whether WWE goes that direction or not, there's no future for the so-called welcoming committee, or as I call them, the Sweet Valley High Mean Girls. They go nowhere if they win with Flair's help and remain irrelevant if they lose. The only way they look strong is with a clean win, which is not going to happen. And like I say, and let me just say this, if you have nothing good to say about a feud, should you say anything at all? This program has been a muddled waste of top talent, interrupting what had potential to be a very strong Naomi and Charlotte program. We'll probably end up there anyway, but there's no doubt about this. Sweet Valley High Mean Girls welcoming committee, they get the win. The reason why Charlotte Flair will go back to her natural heel ways. Maybe I don't know if she'll either help the Sweet Valley High Mean Girls win it, or she could end up, turning heel, maybe after the match and taking out her frustrations on Naomi and Becky. So Charlotte Flair is definitely going to be the wild card in this one. She'll don't worry, she'll go back to being the queen in no time. So with that being said, as much as I want to go with Naomi, Charlotte, and Becky in this one, I can't. Authority type shenanigans will play out here. Sweet Valley High Mean Girls win this match. I hope I'm wrong, and this is one time I wouldn't mind it. So, Edie Woodson, our women's wrestling expert. I mean, what a waste of a program here. You had a great feud with Naomi and Charlotte, and then we had to, and instead we've had to sit through this nonsense.
Yeah, this is a bunch of BS if you ask me. I don't care for this welcoming committee crap, although I'm making it unanimous and saying they'll probably come over the top, because no matter what happens, if it's clean finish or not, Charlotte's going to turn on her teammates in the end, pretty much, because she wants that title. So not much more I'm going to say about it. Just I'm hoping that this kind of ends this little 6-woman feud thing we got going here. So it's yours, Fletch.
All right, get ready, guys. Batten down the hatches. This one's going to get fun. It is the face of America defending United States Heavyweight Champion Kevin Owens, putting the title on the line against the #1 contender, the phenomenal AJ Styles. Anthony Florio, it is yours. What do you think about the match for the United States Heavyweight Championship?
Well, I'll tell you what, MF, it's going to be the fight of the night. I think we're all in agreement on that. I mean, you look at the body of work of Kevin Owens and AJ Styles. This has the potential to be something really special. This has potential to be Pete Dunne, Tyler Bates special. I mean, this has the potential to be a 5-star classic. It really does, because these two guys know how to do it. I mean, and they've already had 5-star matches in the WWE, but both of them had those 5-star matches with John Cena. A couple years ago, Kevin Owens had that awesome feud with Cena for the United States Heavyweight Championship. And then, of course, recently it was AJ Styles who had those classic matches with John Cena. So those two guys are capable of classic matches, and we're going to get another one here. This will steal the show, no question about it. You can make an argument for Nakamura and Ziggler, but I think it's going to be more of a showcase for Nakamura myself. But, we'll see what happens there. But, all right. In all reality, this should be the main event tomorrow night. It should also be for the WWE Championship, really. This should be a world title program, not a U.S. title program. But with those regrets behind us, this one has full potential to ultimately steal the show, featuring the top 2 performers on the SmackDown brand. And talk about a match that could truly go either way. Owens dropping the U.S. title would allow him to possibly jump into a main event program at Randy Orton, which I would love to see. But Styles winning it would keep him out of that level, where he deserves to be entering the Money in the Bank ladder match. Oh, by the way, Money in the Bank next month will be a SmackDown exclusive event. So, some food for thought right there. Plus, a third U.S. title change in 6 weeks is always ill-advised. And Owens' Face of America gimmick would come to a screeching halt. Either superstar can absorb the loss, but I have a feeling it will wind up being a show-stealing match with a dirty finish. So I would not be surprised if Kevin Owens were to go over via nefarious means and hold on to the United States Heavyweight Championship. The only way AJ Styles could win this match would be either via a disqualification or one of those cop-out, count-out finishes where the referee is at a high count and Owens will tease going back in, but then he'll just say, I can't take any more. I'm done. So that's the only way Styles will win. So honestly, I'm going to be real honest. I would love to see AJ Styles win the title here. Give him another notch on his resume. But I think the U.S. title at this point would be somewhat beneath AJ Styles, considering that he's already had a run as the man. So, and there's no doubt about it, he will be the man again, and that day will be SummerSlam, because I think he's going to win. He's going to become champion again at SummerSlam. That's my guess. So, but for right now, I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to go with Kevin Owens, the face of America, to successfully defend the United States Heavyweight Championship. We had those couple of changes in a month stretch. Owens won it at Mania and then dropped it back to Jericho at Payback. And then a couple of days later on SmackDown Live, Owens won the title back. So I don't know. The hot potato effect could strike. You never know. But one thing I do know, this will be the fight of the night. But Kevin Owens is going to win it via nefarious means. So winner and still United States Heavyweight Champion, it's Kevin Owens. So Edie Whitson, your thoughts on what, in my mind, will be the fight of the night for sure.
Yeah, I agree. It's going to be Kevin Owens. And yeah, it's not going to be a clean fight. It's going to end up being dirty probably all the way through, because both, although Styles is going in as a face, but we all know Styles can be just as dirty as Owens. So, but I've got Owens winning. So, enough said. Cheers, Fletch.
Okay. I was just gonna say that I'm gonna go that same route with Anthony. I think AJ Styles will win the match, but I don't think he's gonna win the title. I could definitely see AJ winning it by disqualification, because I think Kevin Owens is gonna do something deliberate. It's gonna get to a point where he's going to say, you know what, the hell with this. I can't finish him. I can't be AJ, but I can definitely walk out with the belt. So I could see him do like a chair shot to AJ right in front of the referee, blatant disqualification. So I could see AJ winning the match, but he will not win the title, and that's going to anger a lot of us. But I think it's going to be the fight of the night. It's going to be an amazing battle, but we're going to have a shaky ending. So let's just say that. All right. Next up we have is for the WWE Tag Team Championship on the SmackDown side. The champions, the Usos, the challengers, Breezango. Let's just go briefly on this one. I kind of have a feeling, but just give me a winner.
I think Breezango is going to win over the Usos.
Really? Oh wow! Yeah, I actually was not expecting that. Holy cow!
I'm going to go with the underdog on this one and say that they're going to pull it off. So.
All right. Wow. I'm actually floored. She caught me off guard. She did. Wow. Okay. I'm going to respectfully disagree. I think the Usos are going to keep the titles, but I will definitely. I'll say this: if Didi was in it right, if Breezango title tomorrow night, which is a very good possibility. I think that would be one of the biggest upsets on SmackDown Live. I think the only other thing I could ever think of was um when Heath Slater and Rhino won the tag team titles, became the inaugural champions. So for me, I'm gonna go with the Usos. I think the Usos will keep the titles, but I think we might have to sound the upset. I think there's a good chance we could see history made tomorrow night.
Well, anything can happen, but it won't. I mean, I admire Dee Woodson's bold pick there. I really do. But I'm sorry, Dee. I'm going to have to be the spoiler here. This one is simple. The Usos are stronger than ever in the ring and on the mic, while Breezango is still developing as a team. They don't even have a team finishing maneuver yet. This boost as number one contenders has given them some much-deserved time in the sun, which will bode well for the entire tag team division. Remember, American Alpha and the New Day are waiting in the wings to contend for this title. And the elevation of Tyler Breeze and Fandango from a forgotten comedy act to a well-pushed comedy act has succeeded from an entertainment standpoint. But unlike the surprising push Heath Slater and Rhino saw in winning the tag titles at the last Backlash, it's more important here for the repackaged heel Usos to stay strong, knowing that big business against American Alpha and or the New Day awaits. So winners and still SmackDown Tag Team Champions, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos, no doubt about it. So, MF, on to our next match.
Not only are we on to our next fight, we're on to the main event for the World Wrestling Entertainment Championship. The champion, Randy Orton, versus the number one contender, Jinder Mahal. And I believe it actually goes to me. I lead off on this. Okay, so Randy Orton won the title at WrestleMania, much to the chagrin of a lot of fans, because a lot of people believed that it should have been Bray Wyatt walking out of WrestleMania with the title. Well, after that, in a major shocker, Jinder Mahal, who is really relegated to basically nomad status, went from Monday Night Raw to Friday SmackDown Live, and in a real fast-paced moment, he went all the way and is now fighting for the most prestigious title in the industry. On top of that, the emergence of the Singh brothers, basically a tag team force that they had together, has become a very deadly triad. And on top of that, it reminds me of Legacy, Randy Orton's stable that he had a few years ago leading into WrestleMania 25, which is almost 8 years ago. Now, the betting line is that Randy Orton successfully defends the title and wins. But with a lot of amount of heat that Jinder Mahal has been receiving lately, and plus with the body of work that he has done with the Singh brothers and everything else, there is a possibility that there's an opening that we not only could have an upset, but we also could crown a new WWE champion tomorrow night. It is very possible. However, I kind of feel like, with everything that's been going on, Vince McMahon has been very high on Randy Orton. He handpicked Orton to win the Royal Rumble this year. Handpicked him. So, at the end of the day, I feel like right now, to have a veteran leader as their champion is probably the right thing to do. Even though I think Jinder Mahal would bring better storylines, and I think would be a really good guy to have as an anti-American person basically like many of these other guys. Like Sergeant Slaughter, when he was the anti-American Iraqi sympathizer, especially during that type of year, during that war, the Gulf War back in 1991. We've had guys like this, Sheik, like Nikolai Volkov, all these guys who are very anti-American that can really bring nuclear heat to somebody. Muhammad Hassan. Many people believe he was a future WWE champion. It's time that they roll the dice and do the unthinkable. And I'm about to do something that I never thought I would do. And yes, I know I'm going to shock Anthony Florio by saying this. I am going against my own. I am selecting Jinder Mahal as the new WWE heavyweight champion of the world. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Oh my goodness. Oh wow. First, Didi Woodson surprises me with Breezango winning the tag titles. But this, whoa. Did I just hear that right? Good old MF Michael Fletcher is actually going against his guy, Randy Orton, who he is the biggest Mark IV. Whoa, Nelly. Oh my. Okay. Oh, how do I follow that? Well, okay. There's always a chance that they go for the surprise factor here. No doubt about it. I mean, you definitely want to go for, to try to sell the WWE in India and, try to, get the relations over there. I mean, but here's the thing, though. I still, for the life of me, cannot believe this match is even happening. Jinder Mahal being elevated to the main event picture was a tough sell from the beginning, but he did a good enough job in his first week as the #1 contender due to a newfound aggression that was showcased. Since then, Mahal has simply proven to be completely underwhelming, both in the ring and on the mic. He's just not ready for prime time in my eyes, let alone being the standard bearer for the SmackDown brand. It's not impossible for him to win. You'll hear others talk about WWE's push into India, but Mahal's elevation alone was enough to satisfy that charge. All the good feelings surrounding Mahal's surprise push to the main event level have dissipated the more it has become apparent he's just not ready. But Orton really never should have been the champion in this spot to begin with, and really doesn't need the belt moving forward. And it's hard to imagine WWE putting that much effort into Mahal without giving him an actual shot with the belt. I mean, the only way Mahal could win the title would be for, an ultimately transitional run, which could happen. So some people could say, hey, basically what MF is saying is he's saying, get ready. Here comes Jinder. Here comes the Maharaja. No, I'm sorry. I don't see it. I would be very surprised if it happens, but no, I'm sorry, MF. I got to respectfully disagree with you on this one. Winner and still the WWE champion in my eyes, it's going to be Randy Orton. And what really did it for me was when they had Mahal steal the title belt to begin with. So that could play heavily. And remember, Booking 101, Mahal got the upper hand as SmackDown Live went off the air this past Tuesday night. And in classic case of Booking 101, you know what that means. Mahal ultimately, was standing tall at the end. 9 times out of 10, champion goes over. So based on that, I got to go with Randy Orton. So Randy Orton's still the WWE champion in my eyes. So Didi Woodson, who do you agree with? Do you agree with me or do you agree with MF on this one?
I'm going Orton. I said Tuesday I didn't think Mahal was ready. I still don't think he's ready. He does not have the mic skills, but it is what it is. As far as disagreeing with people, I think I've disagreed with you guys quite a bit tonight from what I've kept track of. So we'll give Fletch the benefit of the doubt. That maybe Mahal will pull it off, but I'm still going with Orton. So let's put the bow on it.
All right. And the one thing that we always do at the end, our expectation level. So we're just going to give a rating number. Dee Dee Woodson, I'll let you go off first. You can go on and get on home for the night. So just give it, typical 1 to 10 rating. What's your expectation for the show tomorrow night?
I'm gonna go with a 7.5. Just because a couple of these matches I'm not looking forward to being real super big. If it goes any higher, it would have to be off of United States champion and of course Dolph and Nakamura. So because I don't think most of the rest of them are going to be that great of a match. I mean, we may get something out of Orton and Mahal that could be maybe in the top 3, but the rest of them, I don't think they're going to be real super big money makers for the pay-per-view. So that being said, one of you guys can take it from here, and good night, guys.
All right, Anthony Flair, I'm actually going to let you go next, and I'll end it with my expectation. So you go next.
Oh boy. I think it's right around Dee Dee's rating, maybe 7 to 7.5. I mean, Owens and Styles, there's no question about it. That's going to steal the show, hands down. The other matches on the card, I mean, Orton and Mahal, that honestly doesn't scream WWE Championship, let alone main event match to me. But we'll see. You never know. They could surprise. But honestly, I don't really have all that high of hope for that bout, honestly. Tag team titles, we'll see. Harper and Rowan, I think that's going to be a mess. That's going to be the worst fight of the night in my book. The 6-woman tag has potential, but I don't really see anything coming out of that except another reason for me to dump on the Sweet Valley High Mean Girls, who at this point are well beyond the point of go away, especially that good for nothing James Ellsworth. And let me see what else. I mean, rest of the card looks okay. I mean, the pre-show fight is rather okay. Corbin and Zayn's got potential to be a sleeper fight of the night. That's one of the ones I'm actually looking forward to here. So, and Nakamura and Ziggler, that's got some potential right there. So, Owens and Styles, to me, fight of the night. I probably would say Nakamura, Ziggler, probably second best fight of the night if they give it the time. And maybe by default, I'll give Orton and Mahal a chance to close out the top 3 as far as fights of the night go. The other matches, and then maybe Corbin and Zayn after that. But those are the only matches I'm honestly excited about. Not looking forward to the women's match at all. Not looking forward to Rowan and Harper. Certainly not. Tag team titles, I can't say I'm overly excited about that either. So I think 7.5 out of 10 is about right. So, and it's the first time in a long time that I actually don't have that high of hope for a SmackDown Live pay-per-view. So go figure. And the previous SmackDown Live pay-per-view events have all been wonderful. So I don't know about this one. I hope I'm wrong. I'm rooting for them to do well, especially after how great Raw did with Payback a few weeks ago. So, but besides, after what happened at NXT TakeOver Chicago, let's be realistic. TakeOver Chicago is going to come out as the better show. 9.25 to 9.5, I gave that show based on what I saw tonight, which included, oh, by the way, a Match of the Year candidate. This show has the potential to deliver a Match of the Year candidate with Owens and Styles, but can it get there? I hope so. We'll see. So 7.5, that's about right. So MF, I'm sure your expectations are probably going to be high and through the roof, seeing that you are the SmackDown guy. So
No, because I also got to keep it real as always, and that's the one that I think even last night when we had the significant blow up on Strictly Sports, I'm not gonna kid around and I'm not gonna play any games. I always tell it like it is, and the thing is, sometimes I will offend people, and the thing is, I don't really give you know what. I'm not gonna be apologetic. I'm not gonna say I'm sorry for anything because I don't. That's not who I am. Style. Even Erick Ferrera, even though he's got this rivalry with EDP, he's not apologetic for anything. He calls him out when he needs to be called out. I will call people out when they need to be called out. That's kind of in my DNA. I'm more of that ECW extremist, and I'm more than willing to give the foot in the butt on somebody when they deserve it. So, of course, SmackDown Live, they definitely got some work to do. They definitely need to really deliver because, like you said, NXT TakeOver Chicago was beyond amazing tonight. Without a doubt, probably the best WWE special of the entire year. It beat WrestleMania. It beat any event so far up to this year. This was a near perfect 10 show. Now, it wasn't a perfect 10, but it was pretty close to a perfect 10. There was a few fights that really stood out tonight, without a doubt. And yes, we'll get into that on another day, or me and Anthony will do it behind the scenes. But yeah, it was amazing. So my expectation is 7 out of 10. And I want to give it a low expectation because of the fact that, like you said, the buildup wasn't so great. It wasn't amazing. It didn't deliver the way it needs to deliver. SmackDown Live has always been better with Raw because of the fact that they were always get everything right with the little mixture. You put a little salt and then you let the ingredients grow, and it grows into something really amazing. You can take the homegrown talent and build them up and really make them to be something more impactful. And with Kevin Owens and AJ Styles as the face, with that the top, maybe the top tier fight of the night, and then you got Nakamura. I don't think Ziggler's going to be a slouch. Yes, it's going to be a showcase for Nakamura, but I don't think Ziggler is going to lay down and this end up being a squash fight. I think this will be a 3.5 star fight. Then, and the Usos, if they tell the story correctly, I think could be a very good match. Yes, I understand it. Rowan and Harper will probably be the worst fight of the night. Corbin and Sami Zayn could be what I believe could be a SmackDown Live TV quality fight, but they are really putting a lot of vested interest in the women's match because of everything that's been going on there. And of course, when you got the 3 championship fights, you really need to focus on them as well. And I hope, and like I said, for me, I think Randy is probably going to win it. I'm just going to say Jinder Mahal because I think Jinder has a better opportunity as champion where you can really do some very interesting stories with Jinder as champion. So that's why I'm going with him. But we'll wait and see what happens. And one thing's for sure, folks, we will have the recap right here tomorrow night on this channel, Hombres Fan 95. At 11 p.m. Eastern, or when the show goes off the air. But one thing's for sure, folks, we are going to hit you with everything and then some. And you know what? Normally I would never do this, but I'll get into the NXT Chicago on Tuesday night when we recap Cerebral Smack Talk. That's going to be part of my Mikey's Mindset. I got some RWA news as well. Big things happened this past weekend from Pawtucket. So I'm going to get into all of those results on that as well. Until then, for Anthony Floyo, for Didi Woodson, I'm Mike Fletcher. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. So long for now. Have a good night, everybody. Bye-bye.